और बहनों, मुझे दुख है और सुख भी है डटे हुए कि कल प्रार्थना यहाँ नहीं कर सकूंगा।
जो दांडी मार्च के वक्त उन्होंने कार्य चलाया और उसका पूरे देश भर में जिस तरह से स्त्रियां बाहर निकली, महिलाएं बाहर निकली घरों की चारदीवारी को लांग कर, तो एक अमेरिकी पत्रकार ने कहा कि ये महात्मा गांधी हिंदुस्तान को आज़ादी दिलाने में सफल हो या न हो, लेकिन एक बात में वो सफल हो गए हैं, वो है हिंदुस्तान की स्त्रियों को आज़ादी दिला दी उन्होंने। और आज हम देखते हैं कि उस काम को भी हम रचनात्मक कार्य के द्वारा हर क्षेत्र में कर रहे हैं। महिलाओं में जागरण, उनको अपनी शक्ति का भान, आत्मशक्ति का भान कराना और आर्थिक, सामाजिक, राजनीतिक, सांस्कृतिक, धार्मिक हर क्षेत्र में महिलाओं को अपना स्थान प्राप्त करने में सहयोग दिलाना, ये रचनात्मक कार्य का एक महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है।
Kasturba is the sign and symbol of the empowerment of Indian women. Her important contribution to the national action and freedom was in her power in bringing about a mobilization of women for public action by setting an example by personal practice.
Gandhi attacked the issue of inequality between men and women at the very heart of the matter, which is what are women's capabilities and roles, and felt their roles could be as good if not better than men. And that, I think, is empowerment. And he says that marriage is an institution designed by men to tyrannize women. More often than not, a woman's time is taken up not by the performance of essential domestic duties, but in catering for the egoistic pleasures of her lord and master. Imagine that. I mean, he said that 70, 90 years ago, and feminists are saying it now. Then he said, to me, this domestic slavery of the kitchen too is a remnant of barbarism. Barbarism. It is high time that our womankind was freed from this incubus. Could you imagine a man saying this long before anyone else? So that changing of roles, and therefore you see in his life then, he made women come forward in the Satyagraha movements to show that they can be political leaders. And then he had men in the ashrams who would sew, knit, do carpentry, all what we think of as women's work. So that shifting of what we call gender stereotyping of roles, which no one else has done, not even advanced feminists, Gandhi did.
Gandhiji had a great influence on Kasturba. Later he proved to be the savior of the women folk. What was that power which made them feel confident and at ease in his presence?
पावर तो एक था कि रास्ता सत्य का और अहिंसा का था। सत्य का था मतलब उसमें पवित्रता, जीवन की ऊंचाई मिलती थी, और अहिंसा का था कि चमत्कार कर सकते थे, बहनें भी जुड़ सकती थी। बंदूक चलाना हो तो कितनी ट्रेनिंग लेना है, क्या है, इसमें तो बुढ़ी भी खड़ी हो जाएगी तो सत्याग्रही बन गई है। तो ये बात थी। और ऐसे तो देखे तो हजारों साल से दबी बहनें जो घर से बाहर नहीं निकलती थी, हमने आंखों से देखा कि बड़े बड़े घर की बहनें भी बाहर निकली।
हिम्मत से मार खाया, जेल जाने के लिए तैयार हो गई, अपना सब कुछ छोड़ने के लिए तैयार हो गई। ये तो सब वातावरण ऐसा बना कि भाई देश में से हमारे परदेशी सरकार को हमें हटाना है।
What was Gandhiji's speciality which attracted women and filled them with spirit and courage to take up any risk at his command?
You see, Gandhiji was a perfect example of what in our mythology is called Ardhanarishwar. And he had practically identified himself with women, and therefore women felt safe with him. Women felt they could open their heart to him. And for instance, a woman like my mother, who had lived in Parda during my father's lifetime, she went to receive him when he came back from the second round table conference to Bombay. And on the 4th or 5th day, she went to say his goodbye. She said, now I'm going home. So he says, अब घर क्या जाना था, हमें जेल में भेज के हमारे पीछे जेल में आओ. The other people did not have the courage to send my mother to jail. They said, this lady has led such a sheltered life. How will she go and face the jail life? But he said, no, Mahatma Ji has told me to go to jail, I must go to jail. And ultimately, she went to jail. And this was the case with many other women all over the country.
But they had a ideology at that time which was matching with national sovereignty, liberation, poverty eradication, justice, Sama, as Gandhi saw it, and Gandhi was a spiritual leader. And to some extent, I think women's identity with Gandhi was that he was a good person. And you will see that most people like noble people, even men. But I think women tend to easily get drawn to somebody who they feel has all the qualities of goodness. And I think it was Gandhi's simplicity, his sense of purity, his sense of understanding that women were being subordinated, which drew them to him.
बापूजी एक तो इतना आंदोलन चला, बहनें घर से बाहर आई, उसमें संयम और ब्रह्मचर्य को बहुत महत्व था. आश्रम के वातावरण में भी संयम था और ये जो आंदोलन चलता था उसके अंदर भी कोई गलत बातें नहीं होती थी, इसलिए निर्भय होकर बहनें उसमें जुड़ती थी. पुलिन परिवार वाले भी अपनी बहू बेटी को भेजने में संकोच नहीं करते थे, नहीं तो कैसे चलता.
It was his personality that inspired confidence in women, and they came forward. He cleansed politics.
Gandhiji invited women to participate in the Satyagraha movement not only because they were equal to men, but also because they possessed virtues which made them superior to men in a non-violent fight, which requires infinite patience and uncomplaining and silent suffering.
The greatest friend of women was Mahatma Gandhi. His ideas, his bringing women into the main fold, in the mainstream of political activities and social activities, have given such a big impetus. Today also, trusts like Kasturba Gandhi Trust and other trusts who are working towards the welfare of women are making a dent in society, penetrating into rural India and bringing forth women to come and join into the mainstream to work with women and for women.
Gandhiji says, I fail to see any reason for jubilation over the birth of a son and for mourning over that of a daughter. Both are God's gifts. They have an equal right to live and are equally necessary to keep the world going.
In fact, he became aware of women's issue when he visited England from South Africa. The suffragette movement was going on, and he happened to talk to certain women. He realized how important it is for women to have an equal status as men in the political processes. So that is the beginning, and he tried to do the same in India. And I find that what the our counterparts, my counterparts in the rest of the world, got, after a long struggle with the government through constitutional changes, through political struggles and agitations, the Indian women, thanks to Mahatma Gandhi's contribution, his attention to this issue, got it on platter after we became free. You see, in the Constitution of India, women are given the same right, same status, without discrimination.
In fact, recently the Ombudsman of Sweden, Mrs. Gunina Sterner, was here, and when we were talking to her, we found that situation perhaps in India is much better than even in Sweden, with the rights that we have got and with some of the things that, in fact, she said that she is coming and learning many of the things from the Indian example.
Gandhiji said, women can become the leader in Satyagraha, which requires a stout heart that comes from suffering and faith. Gandhiji was against the pernicious system of child marriage. He considered such marriages null and void.
बापू ने उस वक्त बहुत विरोध किया था बाल विवाह का, चाइल्ड मैरिज। खुद का शादी बहुत बचपन में हुई थी, तो उनको पता था कि किस तरह का इसमें मुश्किल आई, खास करके कस्तूरबा को। तो उन्होंने इस प्रथा का बहुत विरोध किया, आज भी हम कर रहे हैं। फिर छोटी उम्र में जो लड़की विधवा हो जाती है, उनके लिए भी उन्होंने कहा कि ये शादी गिनी नहीं जाती, ये लड़की फिर से शादी कर सकती है। आज भी हम कह रहे हैं, विधवाओं के लिए, उनकी परिस्थिति सुधारने के लिए आज भी कह रहे हैं। इसी तरह पर्दा की सिस्टम के भी बापू बहुत खिलाफ थे। दूसरी बात आती है आर्थिक रूप से अपने पैर पर खड़े होने का। अब बापू ये कहते थे, समान दर्जा का जब बात करते थे, तब ये जरूर कहते थे कि महिला को अपने पैर पर खड़ा रहना चाहिए, काम करना चाहिए। आज भी हम सबसे ज़्यादा ये बात करते हैं।
Poverty eradication becomes key, the first principle. And his concept of what he called the Gandhian talisman, saying that any step you take, ask yourself, is it going to help the last person? I have renamed it as Daridra Narayani, saying the last poor person in any country is the woman. So it's I put a need to make it feminine. If you say this poor woman is my goal and how to make her less poor, then all our programs would be addressed to poverty eradication. And we would see that as an engine of growth, instead of seeing that growth must first come and then poverty will be eradicated. But he put the other way around. He said if you remove the poverty of Daridra Narayani, then growth will appear, because her purchasing power, her contribution to the economy will create the growth that you want.
After the children are grown up, 5 years, 6 years, they are independent, they don't need mother's attention all the time. She should seek a part-time job according to her requirement, according to her talent, and the society must ensure that for the woman, that her energies are properly utilized. And I must say that from my reading of the Western society lately, I realized that many middle-class women like to take part-time jobs only while their children are away to school or for some other work, and be with the children after they are back home.
Today, women have to go out and work to supplement the family's economic needs. But working women, especially in urban centers, are subjected to harassment throughout the world. The percentage is less in India compared to the developed countries. However, the alarming increase causes concern.
Even in Sweden, which was supposed to be the foremost country in the world, harassment to women at workplace was the highest. And they also described how that the parents, the legal rights are not being given to women, how they are deprived of legal things. Many of these things came up during our discussion. I would say that harassment to women that is taking place in India is not dissimilar to what is happening all around the world. And why should it happen really in India? This is, as I have said, breakup of the family, joint family system, then socio-economic conditions. Every woman has become a working woman, whereas she has to fend for 4 or 5 things together. She is also the breadwinner, then she is also the looking after of the family, then cook, and then other things that she has to do. This multifold things that a woman has to do leads to a certain kind of tension. And this tension then leads to crime of something or the other. And this crime is reflected in the society in harassment, beating of the woman and other things.
Are we trying to look down upon women as mere money-minting human machines? If so, it is against the Gandhian concept. Gandhiji only wanted to add grace and dignity to their lives.
I would want a woman to be economically independent, yes, but I don't want her to be a money minting machine. See, a woman has to have an outlet for her energies when her children grow up.
In fact, he stressed that women should preferably remain unmarried and take over to social service and so on. He felt that she didn't need to labor for wages. When you are a slave of pleasures and comfort, you obviously try to enslave somebody else to do that for you. So that ultimately women, who are more liable to be subjugated and harassed are the first to suffer in their country. Whereas Gandhiji, I think, was against consumerism. He felt one has to reduce our needs as much as possible. So if people have this spiritual backing, if they remember this in the back of their mind, I'm sure women have no problem at all. So I think we need a spiritual revolution, whatever be the economic or social revolution going on.
Gandhiji says, chastity cannot be superimposed. It cannot be protected by the surrounding walls or parda. It must grow from within, and to be worth anything, it must be capable of withstanding every unsought temptation. It must be as defiant as Sita's.
Basically, Gandhiji had a very deep concern for inequality, or let me put it the other way, for building equality. And I think it arose from his spirituality. And I think he applied the same thing in relation to women, trying to efface the kind of mindset perceptions that women were sex objects, they were domestic slaves, that they could only be treated with disdain. So if you look at both the ways he handled it in his ashram and the ways he advised women, don't wear ornaments and make you into a sex object, don't work in the kitchen. And in the ashram, he simplified kitchen by saying eat uncooked foods. So in some sense, simplification of life helps women, because the more a household wants elaborate arrangements, the more woman works.
Gandhiji said that reform should start from one's own home. The child receives its earliest instruction from its mother, and a society with ignorant and suppressed women cannot hope to produce the best class of sons and daughters.
Sure, because woman was the major center of the family. In fact, families used to be a counseling center for the rest of the members too. That is why Indian women did not go far for counseling. Many of the problems that were there in the family were sorted out in the family itself, which is breaking up, which is a sad reflection. This might also lead to moral degeneration of human beings. In fact, many of the crimes that we are attributing today that has already surfaced in society is due to the reason that family structure is breaking up. We'll have to work very fast, because before it becomes totally out of our hands, that how to strengthen the very family system. Our family has been the basis of society, which has really inculcated values, morals, education. Everything has come from the families. We should not disregard this, and we should now itself start strengthening the family, which is what Mahatma Gandhi has said. Maybe it's not too late, and we should still work towards it.
Gandhiji said, "We cry out for cow protection in the name of religion, but we refuse protection to the human cow in the shape of the girl widow." He stressed that women should be educated properly.
महिला शिक्षित होगी तो पूरा परिवार शिक्षित होता है। तो उस वक्त 25% महिलाएं शिक्षित थी जब हमारा देश आज़ाद हुआ। आज बढ़ा है, ये परसेंटेज जरूर बढ़ा है, लेकिन फिर भी अभी इस बात पर भी काफ़ी काम करने की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि जब तक महिला शिक्षित नहीं होगी तब समाज और देश आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता। गांधी जी ने एक बार कहा था कि आप मुझे 100 महिलाएं दीजिए, मैं आपको एक अच्छा राष्ट्र अर्पित कर सकता हूँ। इतना महत्व वो महिलाओं के लिए, महिलाओं की शिक्षा के लिए देते थे।
Gandhiji felt sad that women don't get equal pay for equal work, even though perhaps they work more than men.
जो एक सरीखा काम करते हैं पुरुष और स्त्री, तो उनको वेतन, वेजिस एक सा मिलना चाहिए। हमने 1975 में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला वर्ष में ये हम कानून लाए, इक्वल पे फॉर इक्वल वर्क। लेकिन ये अनफॉर्चुनेटली बात अभी भी है कि ये हो नहीं रहा। अभी भी महिला को समान वेतन समान काम के लिए नहीं मिल रहा है।
That society has not still considered that position of equality which is desirable. This is one. This needs certain very subtle ways of changing male perception, and before that it is woman's own perception of her role in the society.
स्वयंसेवी संस्थाओं को उठना पड़ेगा, जैसे नेशनल कमीशन फॉर वुमेन बना, बहुत सारी संस्थाएं हैं कि जो इनका काम यही होना चाहिए कि किस तरह से ये अत्याचार महिलाओं पर जो हो रहा है वो दूर हो। अब दहेज की प्रथा है, जो गांधी जी ने तो बहुत सारे ऐसे सोशल इविल्स की बात की थी, इसमें दहेज भी है। अब दहेज प्रथा के खिलाफ कानून तो है, लेकिन उनको अमल में किस तरह से लाया जाए, इसलिए हमको एक समाज में जागृति पैदा करनी पड़ेगी और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा स्वयंसेवी संस्थाओं को इस क्षेत्र में काम करना पड़ेगा।
Voluntary organizations and social workers have to concentrate their activities in the villages in our country, and they should try to educate the poor village girls who are less privileged in this aspect.
There are small girls, school dropouts. They study till 8 and they get married. So we are trying to catch hold of such girls and, infuse a new spirit into them. I find that compared to many urban children in the village are really potential, I should say, potential people to bring about revolution in the country, because they really understand the problems and they have enormous strength, enormous spiritual strength and courage.
Kasturba Sevikashram at Gandhigram was started in 1948 as a home of peace for widows, deserted wives and destitute girls. Jayalakshmi came to Kasturba Sevikashram when she was divorced. She was not given proper education before marriage. Now she is studying in the 10th standard. In Sevikashram, they are given proper education and better placements in different institutions engaged in social service. She wants to become a doctor to offer her services for the village women like some other inmates of Sevikashram. She is proud of Dr. Arya Ratnam, who was also brought up in Sevikashram.
I came to Sevikashram in the state of widow at 17 years old. I have studied in the village schools. I have finished the 8th, 9th, 10th at Sevikashram. I have got first rank in the 10th standard with the help of Amma.
Dr. R. Kausalya Devi, or Amma as she is affectionately called, offers her services free to the Kasturba Hospital, where village women and children are mainly treated.
Our founder, Dr. Soundaram, the doctor basically, and a direct disciple of Gandhiji. Ideology was in the interest of women and children, with special reference to integrated rural development. So from the beginning we have been concentrating on the health of women and children, as a result of which maternal and child health care, education of women and family planning programs, all that we have been doing. So in the interest of women we have been concentrating on all activities like education, employment opportunities, etc.
Addressing a women's meeting, Gandhiji exhorted, refuse to decorate yourselves and don't go in for scents and lavender waters. If you want to give out the proper scent, it must come from your heart, and then you will captivate not man but humanity. Panchayati Raj is considered to be a bold step towards the upliftment and empowerment of women.
ये जो आया पंचायती राज में 33% रिजर्वेशन आया, नगरपालिका में है, म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन में है, इससे फ़र्क तो ज़रूर पड़ेगा। और यही इसके कानून लाने के पीछे यही उद्देश्य है कि महिलाओं में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जागृति आए, वो तैयार हो और डिसीजन मेकिंग में अपना महत्व का योगदान दे सके। 75,000 महिलाएं तो अध्यक्ष बनेगी और 10 लाख महिलाएं इसमें चुनी जाएगी.
With the 73rd and the 74th amendment of the Constitution, we have really taken Mahatma Gandhi's dream and what Mahatma Gandhi said to reality. That is a fact. Maybe we have got today so many women as panchayat, heads of panchayats, and in the panchayat so many women, nearly 8 lakh women all over the country, which is a big figure. Slowly and steadily these are the women, and we are giving this leadership right from the grassroots level.
In Gandhiji's words, when women who be called abala become sabala, all those who are helpless will become powerful.
Certainly the Panchayati Raj is in the direction of realization of Gandhiji's dream. He wanted to build up the nation from below, from the bottom. And our parliamentary government and the parliamentary system in the center and in the states are functioning vigorously, but they need the vital support of the people from below. And in this regard, the Panchayati Raj has been the most revolutionary reform that we have introduced. It has given a moral dimension to our democracy, and it has also generated the people's initiative and people's will to sustain a democratic system.